you brighten the room when you walk in, and some people brighten it when they leave, right? Bit of energy, my eye contact is good, my microphone,
Yeah,
my camera set up, because
yeah.
everybody's got problems. I think it's an old Indian proverb, actually. Everybody's got problems. Motion is medicine. The last thing I'm going to say, people who are in a dire situation.
Thanks for joining me. And today we have in the studio none other than Chip Eichelberger, founder of GetSwitchedOn.com. Now, Chip is a globally recognized keynote speaker and event partner known for creating transformative high impact experiences. With nearly 3 decades of proven success and more than 1,000 presentations delivered across 8 countries, every Canadian province, and every US state, he brings unparalleled energy, engagement, and expertise to the stage. And he joins us today on the podcast to talk about what's your number one asset to success. Chip, welcome to the podcast. It's such an honor to have you here with us.
Hey, happy to be here. Thank you. Great introduction. Jeez.
Oh, no. And when I was reading your last line, which was unparalleled energy, oh my goodness, I can swear by it. Every time I have spoken to you, I take away the energy, even though we are online and virtual.
Well, that's one of the keys in being successful. I think people will forgive anything except a lack of energy and passion for what you're doing. I lived on and off in Australia when I was working with Tony Robbins those 6 years.
Uh-huh.
And, my mates would say, "Oh, mate, you switched on today. Good on you. You switched on." I'd
Uh-huh.
not heard that before. I mean, you brighten the room when you walk in, and some
Yeah.
people brighten it when they leave, right? You got to be able to switch it on, and you have to be able to self-regulate that for
All
themselves. I think
right.
so many people are dependent, especially leaders, because you're judged so clearly on metrics today.
Yes.
People get a sense of worth based on how they're doing, and they're waiting for something to happen outside of them
That's so true.
to get that value. And then if that's true, then something negative can knock you off. So how are you able to self-regulate by physiology and how you move and how you breathe? Number one asset, I think, is taking great care of yourself long term is the
Wow.
best long-term decision you're ever going to make. All the studies that I've seen, and I can quote them if I go to my bag here, leaders who work out consistently, have high energy, are judged by their peers as more effective. Plus,
True.
life is stressful. Being a leader is stressful. I mean, you've got to be able to bring your best to your team every day when you're going in and
Absolutely.
virtual. A lot of people suck virtually. One of the main reasons is
I agree.
they don't get back and get game film. They don't say, "Hey, you know what? I want to get better communicating. I want to make sure that I've got a little bit of energy. My eye contact is good. My microphone,
Yeah.
my camera set up, and go getting some game film." People don't want to look, but that energy is so crucial on how you do it because the numbers. I know you've got a worldwide audience, but in America right now, there is a big movement for the Make America Healthy again because what we've been doing
Yeah. Yep.
hasn't
I've
been
read
working.
about it. Yeah.
National Council on Aging says right now, 79% of people when they reach age 65, and I'll be there in a couple months, have
Oh.
two or more chronic diseases. I mean,
That.
everybody watching, what's your end goal? One day you're working hard so
Yeah.
you can generate enough wealth to be able to sustain yourself and to be able to continue making a difference and leaving a legacy and enjoy your life and not have financial stress. But let's say you do that, you get to age 65 and you didn't take care of yourself all those years. And now
Oh,
you've
goodness.
got heart disease and type 2 diabetes to deal with because
Yeah.
everybody's got problems. I think it's an old Indian proverb, actually. Everybody's got problems. When you got a health problem,
That's the major
one problem.
problem. Yeah,
That's
no,
it.
and you're correct. In fact, there was a latest news in India that India ranks in the first top 5 now in cancer. So that's exactly where things are heading to. But how did you get into this? So when we're talking about the number one asset to success, and you're saying it is self-care, what made you realize that?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, when I was with Tony, I remember it was 1989. I started with him and I went to the first Living Health seminar. And he had he's one of the smartest guys on health out there. I recommend his books highly, but he said the vast majority of people are going to die of preventable diseases. And I heard that, and it's like, why do people wear a seatbelt when you drive a car? Because you don't want to be sitting in the hospital for 6 months saying,
Mm,
"What an idiot!
mm,
If I'd have just worn a seatbelt, I wouldn't have gone through the windshield." Right?
mm.
So, one of my best friends here is a cardiologist, and he said, when I started my career, virtually every patient I saw was dealing with something that happened to them.
Oh,
Today, virtually every person I see, it's a self-inflicted wound that they did to themselves. I mean, like you were saying, cancer rates,
mm,
heart disease, diabetes, cancer. I mean, certainly outliers happen, but by and large, those are self-inflicted wounds. And I think so many people, um, we've lowered the bar. I mean, if you go back and look at the 1970s, people on the beach,
mm,
everybody's in shape. Now you're walking the beach today in 2025 or whenever you're watching this, and you see somebody in shape, and you're going, "Wow, look at that! There's actually somebody in shape." It's
mm.
just and it's the challenge is how well you're taking care of yourself, because the key is to take care of your number one asset long term, so you can take care of yourself and other people.
Mm.
It's simple little habits. Number one book in the world, I'm sure you probably read it, by James Clear, the last 5 years,
Yeah.
Atomic Habits.
Yeah. Yep.
And my favorite quote is from a guy named weird name, F.M. Alexander. Supposedly, he was an actor in the early 1900s in Australia, of all places. And he said, "You know what? We don't decide our futures. We decide our habits, and your
Yeah.
habits will decide your futures." I just
Future.
thought that's so
Yeah,
powerful.
yeah, it is. It definitely is. But like you said, it's all about the health. It's all about your well-being and how you're making those choices of those habits every single day. Yet many people in the corporate world, in the business world, they're so busy every single day, and the only thing that you hear is, "I don't have time. I wish I had more time." Knowing well that there is a, like you said, preventive is the best medicine, right? So knowing that you have to prevent these diseases, still we do not give time to ourself and to our health and to our self-care. Why do you think is this happening? What are you seeing around?
Well, that's an easy excuse for people. I'm just too busy. Well, here's the key. You don't think you're too busy. You're too busy to work out. You're too busy not to work out.
Yeah,
Because what's going to happen is you can only put it off. And I'm not saying you got to be a triathlete. I mean, the thing that I talk about is that it's the little things you do every day. You just got to be consistent. I mean, that's one
mm,
thing I'll praise myself. I've been doing this for 33 years. I've got 3 million miles just on Delta. I weigh the same as I did 33 years ago. I can wear the exact same clothes. I'm in as good or better shape, but if you don't think you have enough time to work out, you don't you have to, because you're only going to put it off so long without consequences,
right,
because you're going to feel a little off, and you're going to go to the doctor, and the doctor says, "Man, I hate to tell you, you got X." Because it's the power of
right,
early detection is
yeah.
one of the things I talk about. It's better to take a time out and look. You don't want to go to the doctor and the doctor says, "Man, I wish we'd have caught this earlier." Because
Hmm.
now you think you were busy before when you're facing a major illness or something like that. Because the first belief you got to have is that, hey, if you get diagnosed with heart disease or type 2 diabetes, you can reverse it.
Yeah.
Because
Mm-hmm.
now you got major time, major effort, major stress,
Reverse it.
major money,
Yeah.
reversing something
Yeah.
that was a self inflicted wound you could have stopped. So, I mean, part
Right.
of that belief is that, if you're going to be a gift to other people, and it's also when you go home to see your family from an energy standpoint and health standpoint, the most important thing maybe you're going to leave a legacy for your kids is how to leave a healthy lifestyle.
But like you
That's one of
said,
the things.
before
Yeah.
when we were connecting, you said that you were with some high school kids and you were talking to them for some
Yeah.
run or something. What do you see in kids? Do you see that they take care of themselves early on, or is this something where people think about
This was a good
after
group.
40s and
I
50s?
had a friend whose son runs the track team, and one of the events I do is a breakthrough event. It's breaking barriers, where we're teaching people to identify something they need to break through. What do they need to believe? Have a sense of certainty about it. Why do they want to break through? And we use the metaphor of we're literally breaking boards. So I had 39 kids, boys and girls, 14 to 17, had their regional meet tomorrow,
Wow.
and to qualify for the state championship. So we did a board break and writing their personal record on it, but what do they need to believe in terms of, it's not what I'm willing, it's not what I'm capable of doing, it's what I'm willing to do. For example, that
Hmm.
there's a big difference between difficult and impossible. For example, the
Yeah.
kids breaking their PR, it's not impossible. You got to, hey, if it's difficult, then there's a way. And I just got a video from the coach that 35 out of 39 runners beat their personal record yesterday. And some
Wow.
of them by a minute and a half.
Yeah.
So it's just, I guess that ties into the energy piece.
Okay.
I think two things: motion is medicine. Moving, people have a very sedentary lifestyle. Wearing a Fitbit or an Apple Watch or something to track your steps and track your movement is crucial. But
Hmm.
again, it gets back to the self-regulation from a physical and mental standpoint.
Hmm.
Excuse me. What are
So,
you reading? What are you listening to? What are you watching? And you said from time, I call it the 4% solution payoff. 4%
4%
of your day is
solution.
1 hour. You got 168 hours a week.
Yeah.
7 out of 168 hours. I don't care how busy you are. If you plan your time accordingly, and all the people who exercise consistently that I know go into the week or the month knowing when they're going to exercise. It's not if I have time, because you're never going to have time based on your
Yeah.
mindset, right? So it's just saying, hey, I got to take 4% of my day, sharpen my axe, get a little bit better physically and emotionally. You double dip, you take the dogs for a brisk walk, and all the research is you can't lollygag, you got to walk. I mean, to reverse heart disease, for example, you got to strengthen your heart. It's interval training. You get your
Yeah.
heart rate up, down, up, down. But a lot of people just walk the same speed. And when you're walking, I was listening to a good podcast this morning. When you're
Mhm.
driving in or when you're commuting, what are you listening to? What are you watching? A lot of people, it's the law of association. We're going to become like the people and the information we spend the most time with.
Right.
So you have to choose, what am I doom scrolling? Do I need to delete TikTok? Is there a game I need to get off my phone? You don't think you have time? Look at your phone and track how much time you're scrolling. I mean, that's just a BS excuse.
Yeah, yeah. And also on Instagram these days, there's so much of scrolling going on, just like, when you have nothing to do, you say. So I had written an article about reverse bedtime revenge, where you're busy in the entire day doing so many things. And then just because you feel guilty that I've been busy and you want to spend time with yourself, you start scrolling late night with a thing that, oh, I had some time with myself. But like you said, what you're doing in that time is very important. So,
Now, here's a
coming
tip: get the phone out of the bedroom.
I agree to
Two
that.
things.
I
No, one,
charge my phone
don't
outside the
charge it next to
bedroom.
your head. Pardon, say again.
Yeah, you're correct. I myself charge the phone outside the room. I tell my kids to do the same. It is very, very true that it has an impact.
I think 20 years from now, we're going to look back and they're going to say, you did what? You charged it next to your head? You held it next. But
Yeah.
getting that out, I mean, you'll see people who spend so much time scrolling or play. I see it on the plane. I mean, that's typically my reading and listening time. I like to do that.
Agreed.
Where
Yeah.
how many people are reading? And if they're reading, you got to read something valuable, right? That's one of
Yeah.
the things. I don't know if you know his name. Do you know the name Jim Rohn, Rohn?
Oh yeah, of course, Jim Rohn. Yeah.
Okay, so Tony worked for Jim Rohn.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Jim taught me early on that uh, money is an exchange of value.
Yes.
It's not the hour you're being paid for, it's the value you bring to the hour. So your question
Right.
is, if money is an exchange of value, how
Hmm.
can I become more valuable? And I've shared that with people for 30 years. Well, if you just, I mean, in America, statisticbrain.com says 58% of people will never read one book after high school.
Oh
So
my.
you're competing in a marketplace of people who have, I love the metaphor of sharpening your axe to be successful.
Yeah.
The greatest lumberjack
Yes.
doesn't chop wood, he takes time to sharpen his axe. And there are a lot
Yes.
of people who are nice, they're well intentioned, but they don't get very good results because they suck. They're not good. They haven't sharpened their axe. So if you read a book a month and you're listening to a positive podcast today, in 10 years, you've read 120 books and listened to over 3,000 podcasts, you're more valuable. And
Than
I love
any.
this phrase. I don't remember. I was speaking at a big event for a big bank, and he says, when you do that, you get that good information in. You're now able to connect the unconnected because
Hmm.
you have distinctions from different voices in different areas where all of a sudden, boom, that stuff comes together. That's what that'll help you do.
Yeah, but I'll come. I want to circle back to the time thing of it. But what you said that there are podcasts to listen to. There's so much of reading to do. What are you doing in your spare time? People say I don't have time for anything. And my day starts in the morning, Payal. I'm back. There's a globalization. I'm so busy with my work. By the time I come back, it's again work, work, work. When should I do all of this? So, what would you suggest to people who keep saying, "Where is the time?"
Well, the research is, especially for anybody out there, the leaders are that you getting working out in the morning is the best time to do it.
Hmm.
Even if you're just doing like I've got my home gym over here, I've got a rowing machine, I've got my rebounder I bounce on, I've got a body weight machine where I'm moving. If you walk the dog, if you just do something for 20 minutes, get out and move. Because
Yeah.
aerobic exercise, a lot of people, I mean, I've been shocked to ask my audience, what does aerobic mean? And they all say, well, heart rate. No, aerobic is exercise with air.
Yeah.
Healthier body, healthier cells. Healthier cells is how much oxygen intake. So moving and just, when people want to make a long-term change, most people have to make a decision. So if you're watching this right now, you're thinking, hey, he's right. I got to take better care of myself. I got to think long term because my goal, at 65 for people is to be disease free, drug free, high energy, good attitude, happy. Because I'm 65, I'm going for 100.
Wow.
We all know people in our life because if you're in good shape at 65, you're going
Yeah.
to make it to 90 plus, barring that's why keep
Right.
your off your phone in your car, right? You probably will. But you got to be thinking, okay, what are the simple things I can do each day and put in a plan? And you have to get to the point where you make a decision. The Latin root of decision is CIS, means to cut off or kill. And that most people say, well, it takes 21 days to establish a habit. I've never seen a
Yeah.
study that validates that. No bell rings.
I
I call
agree.
it a streak starts with one.
Yeah.
It's the power of one in a row. So you're going to start tomorrow morning if you're watching this
Hmm.
and get your butt up, have your workout stuff right there. You don't have to go to the gym. Many of you are working from home. You have no excuses. You don't have commuting time back and forth. Many of you are working at a big company where you've got a gym there.
Hmm.
Initially, it's going to be a little hard. Gosh, I'm working out. I got my workout stuff right there. I'm packing a cooler. Law of proximity of food. You got nothing good to eat, you'll
Hmm.
eat anything. But if you pack and you always have good stuff near you, you've got water near you, you'll drink it. So it's
Yeah.
just about being a little bit more intentional and thinking,
Intentional.
how is
Right.
my week? When's the last time you reimagined your week? Because some people, I'd exercise in the morning, but I'm not a morning person. Well, you can change that. A
Yeah.
streak starts with one action. And the
And
challenge is
yeah.
track it some way. If people want, I have a schedule. I guess we can post it on your page with this. It's emotion is medicine
That'll be
energy
great.
schedule, and you
Wow.
put it on your mirror and it says I must work out a minimum of blank days a month, and then you sign it. Then you write in October and it has 31 boxes, then November, and you fill in the little boxes. You've got to have a minimum standard of the number of days you're going to exercise, because if you don't, anything you did was okay.
Correct. There's no boundary, there's no bar set. So you mentioned about these simple things that you need to do. Tell me, I would definitely want to know what are at least three or four simple things that people can do so that they have a set routine for self-care. What would you suggest?
Okay, well, number one, you have to have the belief that, and because it's a belief is a feeling of certainty. You got to be thinking, ask yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, how well you've been taking care of your number one asset. How good a shape are
Hmm.
you in? How's your mental acuity? Are you battling depression? Where are you on that? If you're not at an 8, 9, or 10, you probably need to make some changes, and you need to look and say, hey, believe I am worth it. I want to take the time now to take care of my
Hmm.
number one asset, so I'm not dealing with a self-inflicted major medical trauma down the line. That's number one. You got to believe it. Number
Hmm.
two, you got to think, hey, motion is medicine. Am I moving? If you are in a situation like I'm here in my new setup, I've got a stand up desk. I can just stand up right here. Get a stand up desk, get a decision, make a decision to get up each morning and start moving at least 30 minutes, getting your heart rate up. I've
Wow.
got a smoothie recipe. If you Google get switched on smoothie, we can obviously post the recipe too. It is a low sugar, high green smoothie that I've been drinking primarily every day for 30 years. For
Hmm.
example, I just made one today. I had half water, half coconut water, half an orange. I took a ton of organic spinach, a ton of organic kale. Some of you know Athletic Greens. There's a
Yeah.
guy named Laird Hamilton the big wave surfer, he has layered super greens. I like that better. I put 2 scoops of that in there, and I add a little bit of frozen fruit
This is lovely.
because you need to have more fresh fruits and vegetables, and most
Yes.
people don't. I
Yeah.
can knock out my 7 servings first thing in the morning. High energy, immune system strong, makes you regular as heck. I tell you, you'll never battle
Wow.
constipation again, right?
Yeah.
So deciding you want to be better, motion, what you put into your body, obviously you are what you eat is crucial. Being more
Yeah.
cognizant of bringing good stuff with you because most people are lazy. Because what happens is some people, because it's an apple a day, not a donut a day, right? It's
True.
life's too short not to have a donut. But some people, you've been eating one every morning because it's there. You got to bring something else and be a little bit
Yeah.
more cognizant of
Yeah.
that. But it's again, it's the power of little simple disciplines day after day.
Mm.
Getting the new routine at first is a little uncomfortable, but after you do it,
You love
and
it.
that's why I
Oh,
love that
yes.
motion is medicine energy schedule because you can track it. It's on the mirror in your bathroom. It's not an app. And you fill in the little boxes day after day, and it says goal and actual. End of the
Mm.
month, you count it up. If you
Absolutely.
decide to
I
track, go ahead,
No,
Payal.
I like the word you use, discipline, because discipline, I think, is the most difficult because even for me to start the discipline is what exactly brought me ahead in whatever I want to do, whether it is with anything, with work, with professional, personal, anything. But discipline and routine, as boring as it sounds, I think that is exactly what takes you well in your professional and personal life.
People underestimate. It's like I know an international audience. Pull up the famous commencement speech by Admiral McCraven at the University of Texas. He told the audience in the military that we're stacking good habits. First thing in the morning, they teach us to make our bed.
Yeah.
And it's not just
Yeah.
make your bed, it's make your bed perfectly. And that one right action leads to the next right
Next
action.
one and the
So
next.
if you
Yeah.
start making your bed, you get up and you start working out. I'm a big believer in lemon water in the morning to help alkalize your system. You can Google it for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
I
need
get up, I
to.
drink my lemon water, I get out and I get some exercise. I come back and I make my smoothie. And you're stacking those habits and you get that momentum where, hey, and you see results. And
Hmm.
I guess we've only got a couple minutes. The last thing I'm going to say for those people who are in a dire situation, you've let yourself go. You're maybe in the middle of a health challenge right now. Google the article by Alan Deutschman. It was in Fast Company magazine in 2005 called Change or Die.
Wow. This is
And it
super.
basically said, what if you were given that choice? You're going to die if you don't change. Would you change? Here are the odds. It's
I
9 to 1
agree.
against you from changing.
Yeah.
9 to 1. After people have a coronary bypass, the study showed
Yep.
90% of people were right back on the lifestyle because the advice they get is, oh my God, you just had
You're
a coronary
good.
bypass. Don't
Exactly.
do anything too strenuous. Start with baby steps. So the people start making
Exactly.
little changes
Yeah.
and they don't get any results. So they go back to what they're doing. You
True.
need to make radical decisions to make
Yes.
drastic changes in your lifestyle. That will give you quicker results. I'm led just in my head to give people this information. If you're battling and you need to lose weight,
Uh,
watch the documentary Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead by Joe Cross. You can watch it for free on his website, rebootwithjoe.com. He was 100 pounds overweight. He was in his 40s. He was on 7 meds. He tried everything. He says, it's ridiculous. I'm going to reboot my system. He went on a 60-day juice fast and did a
oh,
documentary about it. At the
wow.
end, Payal, of 60 days, he was off every medication and lost 90 pounds.
That's sheer discipline and routine.
And you think about, I've got a Mac, but even when Macs screw up, what do? Just reboot it. You got a
Yeah.
PC, reboot it.
Yeah.
You've been in the system of eating that way and exercise and living that way for so long. You got to reboot your system. That movie is
Absolutely.
so amazing because it gives you, maybe you don't need to lose 100, maybe you need to lose 50. But if you could do it, not even in 2 months, let's say you could do it in 4 months. Would that be a win? What if you
Yeah.
did juicing in a big salad every day for 4 months?
Oh my God.
Life would change.
Amazing.
One little change can make a difference.
Exactly.
What I love about that documentary, even if you don't need to lose weight, you're like, I can do it because that's
Absolutely.
90% of success,
Yeah.
right? I can do
Yeah.
it.
True. Oh, wow. I think this is a great piece of advice for our listeners that it's all about the baby steps that you take with discipline and routine that actually takes you there. Thank you so much, Chip. I mean, it's such a honor to have you here and you shared. I mean, this conversation can just go on. I mean, it is so exciting. You have
Yeah,
so
we've
much
been here half an
knowledge.
hour. Even goes longer. Yeah. I hope I didn't talk too
Exactly.
much. I got a lot to share, but
Oh my
everybody,
goodness.
here. I'm just going to close with this. There's a reason you watch this. Everything in your life has led to this moment. I just want you to
Yeah.
think right now. Take a deep breath. What decision do
Oh,
you need to make? Because you just spent half an hour with us. What is it you need to do?
yeah.
Write that thing down, write a game plan, figure out what little habits you need to do to make that happen, post it and start tracking it, right? Do it every single
True.
day. If I can help, Chip at getswitchedon.com. Don't hesitate to reach out.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Chip. And this one's for our audience. This is Chip and Payal Nanjiani wishing you loads of success in your career life. God bless.